Ambassador Burns, if you looked at this, and I'll continue with Mr. McCall's line of questioning. We've had multiple hearings on ISIS and how best to combat it. Yes, we have to fight them over there, but there clearly is a role of the State Department in countering some of the propaganda, in using our broadcasting powers, working to use the internet and social media in different ways, and working hand in hand with our diplomacy. And I believe this budget makes us more susceptible to threats here in the homeland, makes us more susceptible to not defeating ISIS. And I'd be curious about your thoughts there.
I would just say I agree with Danielle Pletka when she said that the terrorism problem is worse than it was 10 or 15 years ago. And so as we look ahead, and we have to plan budgets with policy, we're facing another generation of a struggle against Islamic terrorist groups, Muslim terrorist groups in the Middle East and in Africa. And you also inferred this. We're competing with China for influence in East Asia. We're competing with Russia in Eastern Europe. We are the great power, and we don't want China and Russia to be in the ascendancy, and we want to be effective and successful in the war against these groups. You need to be active and in fifth gear, and that means fully funding state and AID as well as the military.
And I believe the rest of the world would prefer a world led by American values as opposed to the other ideologies. Ambassador Burns, you were a career diplomat. I don't know if you were at State post the Afghanistan conflict initially when we defeated the Russians, but what did we do? Did we stay there? Did we help rebuild Afghanistan? And what filled that vacuum?
Well, way back, we actually left Afghanistan.
And what happened in the aftermath?
Well, then al-Qaeda took root, and the Taliban made a partnership with al-Qaeda. So that was the big strategic mistake of the 1980s and 1990s leading up to 9/11. We left.
Well, let's make sure we don't make that same mistake.